Hi and welcome everyone. It's Lavender Sky Panther with you for a fun little card reading tonight. And before I get into it, I usually just jump right into these things. I just want to take a moment and pause and be sure to thank each and every one of you joining in on this little reading and for any of my content that you catch on my channel in general, whether it's the videos or the community posts. I don't do any lives. Maybe eventually one day I'll start that, but just want to let you know that each and every one of you are appreciated, especially if you've reached out and sent out an email or written something in the comments. I'm pretty sure some of you have tried to place comments and they don't take. As I mentioned, I try to notate it every single time on whatever I post. That's YouTube censoring, not me. If it's a good-spirited comment, they're just not letting a lot of stuff through these days. So anyway, I just want all of you to know that you are deeply appreciated. Heartfelt thanks to each and every one of you. Okay, now, that being said, this is just going to be done in the spirit of a quick draw. It's got a celebratory air about it because I didn't even plan on doing this reading, but something just said do it. And on top of that, these little spools of curling ribbon popped up somewhat out of nowhere. I was going through some things and I found them. It was kind of a surprise for me to even find them. So maybe that's one message for everybody collectively, like surprise, but good things, a good surprise, a happy surprise, not a bad surprise. So that's the first thing right out of the gate for all of us. So we are doing select a group, pick 1, 2, or all 3 groups, however you like. Doesn't matter to me. Go with how you feel. So group 1, however, we have a choice this time to choose by crystals or the spools of the ribbon or both, whatever you're feeling. So group 1 is going to be pink and gold and then this black tourmaline. Okay. Group 2 is going to be this metallic purple and white and then also this emerald stone. And then group 3 is green and light blue or sky blue, baby blue, however you want to say it, and this Caribbean calcite. So again, keep in mind, this is going to be pretty much a quick draw. I'm going to go ahead and set up, so I'm just going to focus on the curling ribbon while I do that. Bear with me. And I will put the timestamps eventually in the description area below. Usually I just want the whole video to upload without any problems first before I type or have to retype stuff. Okay, so hopefully you've made your selection, and here we go. All right, group 1, we're going to start off. We've got 3 cards. I'm going to turn them all over. And again, pardon the wandering camera work. I'm going to just try to focus up here while I turn them over for your group, though. And we're going to have just like a cluster of 3 cards. Give me one more moment. It's anticipation here, right? The excitement to see what your group holds. Okay, here we go. So your first card up is this cute little panda bear, just kind of chewing on some stalks of bamboo. It says good vibes. Then we get number 47, or that's an 11 or a 2, decide the outcome. And we have a judge kind of mulling over something, looking in the books, in a book, presumably a legal book or a register or something. He's got a gavel, but he also has a scroll with a purple ribbon, which is kind of funny because group 2 has a metallic purple ribbon, so you might want to look at group 2. But anyway, also has seemingly, sure that's not fruit punch, it looks like a goblet of wine, so we'll get to what that means later. And we have somebody, looks like, waiting on him, attending to him at a dinner table, because it looks like a waiter with a towelette over his arm. And then we come down here to a beautiful snowy scene with polar bears, and it's nurture, and it says, allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. Okay, so we've got good vibes, we've got deciding the outcome, and then we have nurture. And one down here with the polar bear. Now, one thing that strikes me as interesting is, undeniably, your first card up was or is good vibes. So that is a happy panda sitting there. All its needs are met, and it can just sit there and be content. There's nothing to do, nothing to go toil, nothing to agonize over mentally. Just sit there, relax, and enjoy. So when we come to decide the outcome, it's funny because this judge doesn't look like he's agonizing over anything. He's taking all the time in the world. Looks like, look at even the man attending to him, is not in a hurry either, is standing motionless, letting him have his space all the time he needs to make some kind of decision. Now, the gavel is down there. He doesn't even care about the gavel. He's not even reaching for it. Instead, he's just kind of resting, his finger on his mouth. He's not even speaking an outcome. He's literally just kind of mulling it over, is the phrase I'm getting. And, kind of goes with this wine. It's like the wine is sitting there. That we talk about people who are holding a glass of alcohol or any drink, really, and we talk about the phrase of he's really nursing it, right? He's just barely sipping it. The goblet's full, and we don't get any indication of any kind of rush going on. In fact, it looks like, he hasn't even gotten to undoing, the ribbon on the scroll to roll it out and examine things further. I don't get the sense that he already looked at it and put the neat little bow on it. I think it's the other way around. So whatever the case, we already have 2 cards saying relax, take your time. You don't have to, this kind of is on the heels of, I think, previous reading. One of the piles is not being hasty. No need to be hasty. You've got time on your side. Let things unfold. Just let it be, have its time, hold the space for it, and really you can nurse it, like that drink. Now, with the polar bear, let's see what they have to do with anything. It's nurture. Let me read this one more time. Allow any anxieties and worries to be gently released and offered up to be healed. So again, yes, gentle pacing. It's not saying, hey, polar bears, rush over there and get something, go grab whatever. It's, they're just actually looks like they're standing still, like just frozen. They're just kind of frozen in space and time. So again, that could be like an endless night. The stars are out, and there's nothing like daybreak, no hint of a daybreak coming up. We're like deep into the night. So everything is slow pace, good vibes. Just you can decide the outcome. It is up to you. Looks like. But this means you can mull it over, you can sleep on it, you can pray on it. There's much that you can do, meditate on it as well. Okay, and it looks like it'll be a warm outcome, whatever it is, like a sunshiny outcome, because we have the warm tones, gold, sunshiny energy in there, even though wine is a warm color, presumed wine. And then we have cooler colors here, but in ice, but it doesn't look like it's going to be an icy kind of outcome or anything frigid, because the main message here is nurture and don't have any worry or anxieties over it. So again, don't sweat the small stuff, don't sweat anything. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the time you have in the now to either relax or make any decision. Okay? All right, so that's it for group 1. We're going to head off to group 2. Okay, group 2, give me a moment to set up your cards. Like I told group 1, don't have any background music here as you wait, I'm sure, in anticipation here. Hang on one second for what's coming. There are going to be 3 cards, and you have a nice little trio here. Give me one more moment. Let me see how I can do this. One more moment. Enjoy the colors until I get there. Okay, here we go. This is, again, reminder, quick draw, nothing intense and deep here, just meant to be a little lighthearted and fun. Maybe you need to hear something just for right now. Okay, so your 3 cards are this. We have a beautiful blue, turquoise-ish blue balloon with a golden background, and we have 2 adorable little cats sitting there. Their tails are forming a heart, and your first message up is soulmate, the overall message. Then we have 61, number 61 or 7, give it to God. And we have actually, amazingly, an echoing and a repeat of balloons, except now that one has grown into a full cluster. And we also have that blue balloon in there a couple times. And we have this sky, and they're flying away. The man has let them go. And we don't know if he let it go intentionally, do we? He seems to be smiling. I think he did. I think he's like, okay, day is done. I can release them. I can give it to God. All right, and now we have the third card. And this one says, beautiful colors in here. Bat, listen up. You are working through deep soul patterns. Release any outdated beliefs that surface. Wow, isn't that nice how this all goes together? So release anything outdated, in the beliefs that surface. So release, and the word up catches my attention, and listen up. There's some deep things going on. So how can you move through some deep things nicely? Release things and lighten your own load. Lighten up, literally. So these bats, although it says lighten up, they're kind of looking like they're coming downward, but no matter. They're up there. They're light, and, so are the balloons. So in this case, this is just a general reading for the collective, even though you've selected a pile, a group. I'm just going to say what comes to mind, though. It's not going to apply to everybody, obviously, but I will say the first thing that comes up for me on this is when we look at soulmate and we have this pair and they're watching the balloon. This might apply to somebody who is pregnant out there, who's expecting a child, and maybe you have some concerns surrounding it. And so, here it is, just kind of the two cards together go release, actually all three. Release any worries that you have about it, any deep concerns, release it, give it to God. A little exercise that I like to do if I'm really concerned about anything is to imagine a little doorstep, a stoop, like a little step, a stair in front of a door. And I like to imagine a huge wicker, like white wicker basket, or it could be a wood basket, it could be metal mesh basket, whatever you want. And just put whatever your worries are, mentally envision this, little envisioning exercise. Envision any concern that you have and put it in that basket. And then imagine just something divine, that is even unseen, just comes in and whoosh, whisks that basket away. And that's God or your spirit team, angels, whatever you look to, higher power or your higher self, whatever it is. I mean, we're all connected in one in truth anyway. Whatever makes you feel good and clicks in so you can make this visualization, this envisioning happen, and give it more power to release. Just imagine whatever that worry is, throwing it in that basket. It doesn't matter how big it is. If you're worried about a building you own or something, the whole building can be thrown in the basket. You can put a person in the basket. You can put just the concept of whatever your fears are in that basket, and just imagine that something angelic or God or divine has just, again, it can be God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, whatever you look to, that is of love, is whisking that basket away and lightening your load quite literally. And then really breathe easy and just know that you have given it to God. It's not on you. It's called, in a book from the 20s called The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. It's a little envisioning technique called casting the burden. And you're casting it to whatever higher power works for you. So in that case, that's one way. In this case, you may want to get a bunch of balloons and just release them. Although I don't really recommend that environmentally because they come down somewhere and birds might eat them and choke or whatever. So we probably don't want to do that. But you get the idea. There's some other technique or way, maybe fly a kite or something over, when you have a break, just to get in and connect in with the idea of lightness. And just, release anything. Let me read this one more time. Listen up. The bat message is, you are working through deep soul patterns. Release any outdated beliefs that surface. Okay, so again, any fears that we have are kind of mostly involving a reality that is not there. I mean, most of it, they say like 90% of what we fear about never even happens. So make sure that for right now you're not projecting into the past or into the future. Just stay in the now and do whatever number of techniques you want, just to help lighten the load and release any burdens, release any fears or anything that's weighing on you deeply on the soul. Okay, that's all I'm getting for right now for group 2. Now we'll move on to group 3, and if this group wasn't quite for you, feel free to pick one of the other 2 piles, groups, or both of them. Okay, so now we're going on to group 3. Group 3, focus on these colors with me. You can or you can't. I'm just going to put the camera there until I set up your cards, so bear with me. And you're going to also have a trio of cards. And as a little reminder, this is just meant to be a little quick draw, something that you might need to hear in this moment. And if this group isn't doing that for you, feel free to check out one of the other two groups or both of them. All right, give me a moment to get this together. Okay, so your three cards are Peace. This just came up in the last reading in one of the groups. Peace. Got the blue rose and the dove. You've got Look Forward, and that's a number 41 or a number 5. And we have this scene of some type of canyon or cliff. And looks like a guy. I believe it could be a guy or girl. It's just hard to tell from this far back. And we have another card, which is Atlantis, kind of ruins of Atlantis and dolphins. And this card says Dolphin, Atlantis, healing wisdom is surfacing. Stop and listen. Actually, you might want to look at the other two piles or groups as well, because there's kind of like a healing and releasing theme going on. So healing wisdom is surfacing. Stop and listen. Okay, so things are coming to the surface, and yet these dolphins are swimming downward. So the first thing I get is, I guess it's like, okay, we're getting at healing, wisdom, peace, and looking forward. So I guess, we're just looking at a moment in time and focusing on the now, like the right now. So with the peace card, we have the dove is even kind of caught in a state of standstill. This climber is also kind of just taking his or her time on the path. It's winding. It's the person's being made to slow down. I'm just going to call it a he. I get a he vibe. So he is being called to even slow down, not just go plowing straight ahead in any kind of hurry. Even the tree off in the distance, it looks like a sapling. It's not a full-grown, mature tree, but it is something to look forward to, this beautiful new growth, and it's a very peaceful scene as well. He's the only one. He's on that path alone. Then we have this kind of lost, ruinous city idea, but it's teeming with life, and all of these dolphins, they're all moving the same direction. They're very peaceful, swimming in the flow together. We don't see like one dolphin trying to go against, the stream, so to speak. So this is all about stopping and listening, obviously, literally just taking this moment to stop. And, yes, you will be going forward again, but right now is not the time just to run for it. And, maybe you're feeling this sense of stagnation right now and you're like, I cannot take this anymore. I have been waiting for years. What are you saying? Stop. Well, it is just to do a little check-in right now. I mention it probably on every reading that there's a rose. Pardon if I do that, but it seems relevant if I bring it up. This is a technique to just get a hold of a rose that's somewhat opened and just stare with soft eyes. And I mentioned this in the last reading too. Just gaze with soft eyes at the center of it and get into a nice, peaceful, meditative state, because that will help you connect inward and forget anything, concepts of time and money. We don't come here born with a clock around our neck and money, on us, taped to us, I guess, somehow. There is no time and money in the world of the divine. We are divine creations, and we do not need that. That's a man-made construct to kind of, I'll just say it, kind of enslave us and take us out of our own, divinity that's given to us. That is our birthright. That is who we are. So this is just a reminder to, even though we want to look forward, and we can, first get to pure peace and calm, and do some inner reflection, and let whatever your innermost self, that little God spark, speak to you. Let your body speak to you. Connect in, and just really listen. You're going to hear it, telepathically, very imperceptibly. What maybe your physical body might want to or need to get to a balance and to a peaceful state. Just really check in and get fully centered, and then maybe think about what's coming around the bend. And if you're in a super stressful state right now, that's even more applicable to you. And it's just a reminder that before, I think it was in the last reading as well, there's a message: look before you leap. Before you can leap, just stop and look inside, and before you look to the outside. Okay. All right, well, that's it for all the groups. And for right now, I wish you all a beautiful right now. If you've already started your weekend, happy weekend. And until next time, tremendous peace and love. Lavender Sky Panther. Bye.